Welcome back to another episode of the playthrough. People, oh my gosh, you've made it. You've arrived. Oh my, welcome in. Take a seat. You see Chrono's already sitting here with his straw man. We're gonna have a lot of straw man arguments in this one, so be prepared. Be prepared for the future. I hope everybody's having a good whatever day I upload this on. And today, we're doing a little bit more of the story once again. This time, we're doing a fun part of the story with a very sad ending, a sad premise. It's just sad all around, you know. So I hope we're all ready to cry. Don't worry, I'll make it pretty. I'll make it pretty funny. Either way, just with my yap extraordinaire abilities. Welcome back to another day of, grinding my yap skill to its absolute pinnacle. I'll get there one day. So if you don't like this yapping now, come see me 5 years later. And we'll peek the progress. We'll peep the progress. It's been a pretty nice morning for me. It's 6:05 now. So I'm just now getting up. Planning on hiking together with a couple of homies later today. This is the 25th of January right now. So I don't know if you guys are aware, but Champion Cypher's coming out today. Champion Cypher's coming out today, 1 p.m. EST. So I'm very excited. We're all gonna go hike out, listen to the new album here. It's gonna be a good time. But enough about my boring ass day. While we travel on to the town that we're doing the story in, it's called Celedot, however you pronounce it. Um, Before we do that, I'll start with the spoiler chat, and this one will be relatively short, relatively vague. Because I'm gonna be honest, I just did the second part, the 2.1 version of this story, and I feel like I'm gonna combine them both a little bit accidentally. So I'm just gonna be as vague as possible, not give too many details, so that we don't spoil that part before we even get remotely close to it. Because I'll give you the structure of version 2 here real quick. Once again, just to recap, there are 3 towns, not including Grand Zadora, in version 2. And in these 3 towns, you have a collection of 2 stories each, with a little bit of the third part of the story being sort of capped off in version 2.2. But for the most part, it's like a 2-part story. You get 2.0 and 2.1 for these 3 towns. And the first time around, you're going through figuring things out and figuring out the story. And the second time around, you sort of get a little bit of closure. And the third time around, you sort of just help them out and you do things with your new party member, because we are getting an ally here, or we are being an ally, whatever you want to call it. But today, for our story spoilers, what we are doing is going to a town called Celedot. Go ahead and start these spoilers here. And in this town, basically you have all of the adults being missing. And essentially what happened before we arrived at this town with no adults is the kids here, one of the children of the mayor, cast a spell to try to, I forget what she was trying to do, actually. I think she was trying to get rid of the miasma, because, it's over the whole island of Lindergia here. She's trying to get rid of the miasma. She accidentally summoned a demon guy, but he's apparently not evil. Apparently, quote unquote, right? He's totally not evil. And when she summoned the demon guy, all the adults disappeared, right? So we don't know why. Most of the quest is just figuring out where the adults went, and while you're doing this, basically you're traveling around, killing some enemies. We go to basically this. Oh wow, I really froze for a while. That was a bad lag. But basically, we go over to a tower to I think we get a book or something to basically summon, the full genie or whatever, and then oh no, surprise, the guy that we summoned with the book was evil. Oh, how did it yeah, and then we have to fight the evil genie at the end, and then they go pray at the temple to hope that all of the parents come back, and we'll see why all the adults are missing in the 2.1 story. That's why I was kind of afraid I was gonna combine both of the stories because a lot of the details from this one that are omitted are explained in the next version story. So we'll get to that eventually. For now, you just got to know it's a very sad town with only children. Um, and we're gonna just continue on from there. So I'll obviously give a little bit of tidbits and details along as we do the story here. I won't distract you too much with that because we are podcast mode. The focus of the videos are my yapping ability and how I am grinding it to become the best it can ever be. Become the conversationalist that I've always wanted to talk to. Um, I don't know what I was doing in this footage, guys. I was probably taking a piss or something, going to the bathroom during these battles or something like that. I gotta remember though, I do have like a level max druid here, so these little random encounters are not going to take a crazy long amount of time. My party setup for this is pretty basic as well. I have Chrono here as the Battle Master, Alia over here as the Ranger, and we actually have Magus as the Druid this time. It's a pretty cool little setup here. I do have an idea for my next party. I'll go ahead and hold off until you guys see that one. I'm not gonna spoil what the crossover is quite yet. But I have ideas. Guys, we're mostly going to be doing anime and RPGs for the crossovers. So I was going to do some music crossovers, like I put Kendrick Lamar in there because I thought that was pretty funny. His GNX album was really good. And I was thinking about putting Tyler, the Creator, and Meg Thee Stallion in, but strangely enough, they're hard to make in Toriyama's art style, and there aren't too many like distinctive outfits for them. Well, for Tyler the Creator, there definitely are, but strangely enough, Meg Thee Stallion, many other female artists don't really have too many repeatable costumes that I could really, and something that they've really been known for. Something that, if you saw them in that, you'd recognize, oh shit, that's Doja Cat, or oh shit, that's Beyonce. There's not many that outfits out there besides just the stuff you see on album art and whatnot. And a lot of that stuff you see on album art, go ahead and put a few up here if I remember up on screen. A lot of the stuff you see from that album art is not really costume wise repeatable in game, honestly. Like, there's not a lot of stuff that relates to it, sadly. But nevertheless, we vibe on. I think it makes it more not congruent. What's the word I'm looking for? I guess more analogous to have it be RPGs to RPGs instead of, putting a random musician in the game or something like that. Although music is another focus of these episodes. I suppose most people don't know that I used to do a podcast where I explicitly talked about music because it wasn't very popular. It got about as much views as this one got, but I wasn't gaining traction with followers and people actually wanting to tune in for the next episode. So I stopped around about like 200 or so, 200 episodes. And that was just me like not editing any of the music. I was just kind of putting music up, uploading it on Twitter and doing my thing. So that ended, I want to say like 2018, 17, around that area. And then I started up this one last year, good old 2024. But I've been playing this game since 2023, and I won't say like I always had an idea to do a playthrough like this, but ever since I figured out how the support companions worked, I did want to create a playthrough where I only use my support companions. I didn't always think I'd publicize it and make it a playthrough like this, but when I stopped journaling was when I decided I needed to have some other way to record my progress in life. Because if there's one thing that I can definitely look back and say, it's that a lot has changed. A lot has changed. I've learned a lot of new things, and I feel like just having a place to not only log my recent knowledge levels, the facts I've learned and stuff like that, so have some place to store those digitally, but also just to, help people, give a guide out, because I don't feel like there are a lot of good playthroughs content of this. So I feel like it's killing two birds with one stone. Um, to all those that love journaling, I'd say it's a really, really good part of your personal development. To journal, to talk to yourself in some way, to get all the thoughts out, because we live in our minds, especially nowadays. We live directly inside of our own heads, and not a lot of us get a lot of free time to express our emotions vocally or written wise. Not a lot of us get that freedom with our friend group or our family, your lover, whatever, to just openly get all our thoughts out, get everything in our jumbled head onto paper. And I feel like that's really important. Me as someone who develops a lot of content, consumes a lot of content. I guess developing is the process that I go through, actually. More accurately tells what I do with the content that I consume. Over here we got the old world clause, 3 plus alchemy on there. The alchemy states aren't very, very good. You can see we got like MP saver. Um, Couple of good percentages on there, but it's not crazy amazing with the alchemized effects. I'm gonna be honest. So I don't think this is something that I'm gonna really die to use, but I thought it was pretty funny because I actually got this same weapon. I bought it on my other character, like from the bazaar, which is pretty funny. Um, but yeah, this one it basically just it helps with magic and charge times. Usually the alchemy effects on here aren't very good. Um, for the class that I'm on, Battle Master, or even the other class I use. What, Monster Master I use as well. It's not really good for that one either, but they are high level claws, so it's not like I'm going to drop them. Um, Another little tidbit here. Holy shit! It is 27 degrees outside. Holy fuck. Anyways, another little tidbit here. When you collect equipment from the field, you can't actually sell it to shops or anything, so you have to drop it if you don't want it. But I would always recommend picking up any equipment that you find on the field if you haven't picked it up before, because it gives you achievements. If you collect all the equipment types, You get achievements per how many you have collected in the wardrobe and all that stuff. You know, it's important to collect all the armor, all the weapons and whatnot. So I'd recommend just picking them up. You can drop them later if you don't need them. But pick everything up, please. Please. Um, yeah, and now I've definitely lost my train of thought. Looking at the news on my phone here, it looks like the story demo of Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak 2 just dropped. So I'll have to look up some footage of that. Um, it's coming out the 14th. It's coming out Valentine's Day. Oh, fuck. I dropped my controller. This damn thing keeps sticking to my, so there's Velcro on my controller. To wrap it up, and it keeps sticking to my sock. It's very annoying. Um, but yeah, Trails Through Daybreak 2 is coming out on the 14th. I played the demo of the first one, which was very good, and I finished Trails into Reverie. So I'm actually very excited for the release of this game. I'll have to definitely look up some footage. I'll have to definitely look up some soundtrack information. Um, because I do love the soundtrack for the first game. That was so good. That was very, very good. Um, but I'll have to see what they do in the second one. Story-wise, I feel like it's going to be pretty good. And I don't think they're dropping, it doesn't say they're dropping a demo on the Switch. So I'll probably have to wait a little bit longer to play the demo myself. But I'll definitely look up some footage on that if that's dropping pretty soon. That's good to know. That's good to know. I didn't mean to make this a news episode. It just literally popped up on my phone. Crazy notification, right? I don't know. Um, I might do a little news show eventually. Maybe one of these episodes I'll turn into like a news thing if I really have things to talk about. But I don't consider myself too much of a broadcaster news-wise. I don't put too much value into my own opinions. Um, don't really know if anyone truly cares. Um, and I think that's because I usually don't really care that deeply. So it all comes back to us, guys. It all comes back to what we value, what we perceive has value, and all that good stuff.